We're shaking. We're shaking, y'all. Top of the top. 90s versus 2000s type of vibe. What's good? What's good? Peace, everybody. You already know the vibes, man. You know the vibes. As you pull up, do me a favor, y'all. You already know what it is, man. Hit that like button for your boy. Everybody to pull up in the chat. Hit the like button for your boy. Go keep doing this live thing, man. You feel me? Still new to this shit. So, bear with me. Hit that like button. No, hit that like button as you come in the room, man. As you pull up in the chat, hit the like button. Definitely appreciate you. Blaze Podcast, what's good, my G? Top of the top to everybody, man. Top of the week. Hope everybody is having a productive day thus far. You know what I mean? It's still early. So if you're not, productive at this point, we still got time to change that around. You hear me? Just got in from the gym, feeling good, you know what I'm saying? Jesus Landor, what up, my boy? Nothing, man, just cooling. Gonna chop it up with my peoples real quick, you know the vibes. Hit that like button for your boy. See what today's topic is, though, y'all. Everybody that's in the room so far. Fat Joe speaks on the last joint album with Biggie and jokes about reasons why he's jealous of Drake. All right? Just so you know what we talking about. B&B Malcolm, what's shaking with him? Peace to everybody that's in the chat, man. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Hit that like button for your boy. Anyone that hasn't checked it out thus far, there's a link in the description box of this video right here with my new mixtape, man. It's called Remember the Name Part 2. Where I jumped on all of the old nostalgic hip hop beats. You know what I mean? Go check that out. Your boy back in his old school D-Block bag, so hit that link. Check your boy out. Panda Chop, what's good, my G? Panda Chop News in the building. It's about time for a new interview too, Panda Chop. Got a lot of new stuff cooking. Definitely gonna get at you. Let's give it like 2 more minutes, man. Wait for a few more people to pull up and we're gonna get right into this. What's good with y'all though anyway, man? Talk to me. What y'all got going on so far today, man? Shannon McCrae. I heard my favorite mixtape was You vs. Young Chris. I didn't even know a mixtape with me versus Young Chris ever came out. I'm not even gonna hold you up. That's crazy though. Convertible Breeze, what's hood? Where you been, G's? I've been around, man. I'm always around. I'm just out the way. You feel me? Been on this channel, putting up content, dropping these mixtapes, dropping these albums independently. It's Support your boy, man. The Rock in the building. Okay. Shout out to The Rock. Zeke on the beat. We're shaking. B&B Malcolm said he just got off of work. Okay. No doubt. Get that bread. Get that shmoney. All right, so look, check it out, y'all. The topic of today, hold on, before I even get into that, let me see. 90s versus 2000 type of vibe. You gotta respect Doc. First two are based on Jersey legends. Have you seen it yet? Redman, Naughty by Nature, Joe Buttons. I'm kind of lost there where that came from, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. That joint with you and Twin, fire. Appreciate it, man. Twin, my guy, man. Me and him, we make dope music together. Our chemistry is crazy. Shout out to QB, man. You know, man, they've been showing your boy love for a minute. Definitely shout out to them. Everybody that pull up in the chat, hit that like button for your boy. Let's get these likes up. You feel me? It helps with the algorithm. It helps my channel grow. So, you dig me? Let's get to it. All right, so look, check this out, man. The topic of today's discussion, right, is, Fat Joe speaks on alleged joint album with Biggie. He recently did an interview on Cap Capone, right? And during this interview, he spoke about doing a handful of songs with Big before he died. And he said that these songs were basically scratched and never released because they were kind of disrespectful. And after Big died and after Pac died, they thought it would be distasteful to release them to release them and all that. So they were never released. And he also stated that, the producers or the engineer probably burnt them. He said all the production on the tracks that they did was done by the Hitmen, who were producers for Bad Boy at the time. Now, this was my first time. Actually, he mentioned this a while ago on another platform, like a couple of years ago, but this is all new news to me, probably new news to a lot of other people. You know what I'm saying? But how do y'all feel about it? Like a Fat Joe and Biggie album? How y'all think that would have sounded? First and foremost, before I even get into anything else. Y'all think that would have been fire? Zeke on the beat. Fat Joe says he wrote everything he did in his book. I didn't get the book, but I'll check it out. Shana McCray said he capping. B&B Malcolm said I heard it before. You heard what before? Ain't no way you heard the album. Or you speaking about that you heard him speak on it before, or you heard the rumor that they had an album together? Cuban Link said he was lying. Okay, after I see what you guys have to say about this, I'm gonna get into something else that Fat Joe said, because he was just on live on his Instagram yesterday, speaking about people that said he was capping about this, right? 90s versus 2000 type of vibe. He said back then it might have been tough. That was the era of Junior Mafia, Cuban Link, etc. Zeke on the beat said it could have been fired, or it could be fired, excuse me. For those that's just pulling up in the room, we speaking about Fat Joe saying that he had an alleged joint album with Biggie before he died. You know what I mean? Basically 8 or 9 songs. Blaze Podcast said that would have been fire, or that would be fire. Raheem Perez, peace. So far, everybody's saying that would have been fire. A Fat Joe and Biggie album. Right? Shannon McCray, I don't think Fat Joe wouldn't be able to keep up. He a good businessman and he has a good ear for music. Blaze Podcast said, I don't know why people think Joe is capping. Joe been in the game a long time. Absolutely. Joe definitely been around for a while. His credibility is excellent. Anytime I hear people speaking about Joe, it's always about, stories of how he came to their aid and he helped them out, saved a lot of people from certain things, and stuff to that nature. So I myself don't think he's capping, but a lot of people obviously are saying he's capping. Sherrod Brett Breedlove said it will be Joey Crack and Heavy D. Heavy D is a Big Daddy Kane in this game. Nah, but he said he had an album with Biggie though, not Heavy D. Said he made 9 songs with Biggie before he died, produced by the Hitmen, who were producers for Bad Boy at that time. 90s verse 2000 vibe said it probably would feature Big Pun as well. I don't know if he had discovered Pun by then. I think it was probably a little bit before Pun because if I'm not mistaken, my timeline could be a little messed up, but I think Biggie died before Fat Joe met Pun. I could be wrong though. In 2008 on Cypher Sounds and Ebro, he said he had 3 songs. In 2018, he went on Black TV and said he had 4 songs. In 2021, he was on Live with Swiss Beats and Timberland and said he had 5 songs. 2023, 8 to 10. That's that's what he said, man. And this is Pan the Chop News saying this. Pan the Chop, this is what he said on the interview with Cap Capone, man. He said he had like 8 or 9 songs with him. You know what I mean? He said they was real disrespectful. So I'm assuming that some of them might have been addressing Pac or something because Biggie, you know what I mean? Like, he was going through what he was going through with Pac at the time. He said they weren't released because they were distasteful because both of those brothers died and all that. So, I mean, I don't know. This is what he said, man. You know what I mean? I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not true. I don't know. Test 1177, J Hood, one of the best ever. Appreciate you, bro. Love, definitely. Raheem Perez, prefer Pun and Biggie over Joe. Trust. 90s verse 2000 type of vibe. Pun was on Jealous One's Envy. Shannon McCray, that album what got leaked on the internet or bootleg. I mean, I don't know. He said it might have been burnt by the producers or the engineer. If he did make that album, they kept that shit in the tuck. I'm talking about in a little lighter pocket in your pants because no one ever heard any of those records, which is remarkable. Like they doing a terrific job of keeping that under wraps. Convertible Breeze said definitely Big L would have been on it. That would have been fire. BNB Malcolm said I would have liked it. Zeke on the beat said Joe should drop at least 1 song out the vault. I mean, that would be crazy. But then again, like I said, according to him, he said that they probably burned it, so I'm going to assume that he don't have any of those songs in his possession by the remark that he made about it, you know what I'm saying? Zeke on the beat, excuse me, I just read his comment. Jurassic 357 said, Puffy even said he heard them talking about doing a single together, but not as many songs as he claimed. BMD Malcolm said, I think it's cap. So, I mean, I don't know, man. A lot of people saying that they think Joe is capping. Like, why? Do you think he's capping because you never heard any of the songs? Or is it just hard for you to believe that they actually did those amount of songs that he claimed that they did? You know what I'm saying? Just so I could get a clear understanding of why exactly y'all think he's capping. Because yesterday, right, like I said, I'll say it again for the people who are just pulling up in the chat. Yesterday he went on Instagram Live, right? And when he was actually speaking about the Crawford and Spence fight. And somebody brought up the fact that Puff didn't co-sign his story and that he was capping. So he addressed that. He was saying that when has Joe ever capped? Joe never capped about anything, and he started naming all the people who could vouch for everything that he's ever spoken on. You know what I'm saying? And he said he's never been known for capping. And he went on to talk about that for at least, 5 to 10 minutes, a good amount of time. Right? 90s versus 2000 type of vibe said, ask the hitman for validation. I mean, that would be an easy way to validate things. Um, Panda Chop said, "Let me ask you this." He told his Puerto Rican homies to hold Tupac down in the prison in 1995. Why would he go diss Tupac then? The album exists. Then it would be recorded in 1995, 1996. That's something that I was thinking about as well. In my mind, I'm like, he did speak on, sending the kite to his homies in the pen to hold Pac down. So, did he actually say something about Pac on these records, or did he let Big say something about Pac on the records? That's definitely something that I questioned in my mind about his statement on the album. You know what I mean? I definitely thought about that. BNB Malcolm said, "Yeah, that's cap." Panda Chop said, "Star Report said he was told Stevie J said he ain't got no idea what Joe talking about." That's interesting. Because Stevie J was one of the hitmen, for those that don't know. Now, I'm not saying Fat Joe's capping, because I don't know nothing. I don't know if this is true or if it's not true. We just speaking about what this man said, right? Panda Chop just said that Stevie J said he ain't know what Joe was talking about. B&B Malcolm said, yeah, he said they was coming at Tupac. Who said they was coming at Tupac? I never heard Joe say that. The only thing I heard Joe say about Tupac is that his homies was holding Pac down behind the wall. Panda Chop News said he said Stevie J was a producer. Yeah, I mean, he definitely said that because he said the hitman when he was asked who were the producers on the project. And like I said, for those that don't know, Stevie J definitely was one of the hitmen. Steven Rivera, what's good, my boy? 90s versus 2000 type of vibe said Joe didn't feel like dissing Tupac until Pac came home wilding. I don't know. Test 11177 said release it as an EP then. I mean, again, he said he doesn't have it in his possession. He said the engineers or the producers may have burnt it or got rid of it because it was distasteful as far as the what was being spoken about on those records. Due to the fact that, both of the artists died, speaking about Pac and Big. Raheem Perez said, keep us updated on that RJ Payne collab. Oh, definitely. It's in the works. It's being cooked right now. Believe that. And a lot of other stuff is on the stove right now too. So yeah, y'all about to hear a lot of fire. You feel me? But Test 11177, shout out to J Hood from CT. Yo, shout out to CT, man. Mad love for Connecticut. Like for real, they always rock with your boy. They always show me massive love. So shout out to CT. B&B Malcolm said he keeps switching his stories up. That's crazy. It's crazy, man. Convertible Breeze said 9 songs, he ain't got one he could play a snippet of. And that's what. So y'all calling Joe Cap. Y'all calling Fat Joe the Don Capper. Or Capper, okay. Fat Joe, I'm not saying you capping, my man, like big homie. This is what they saying. I'm just reporting what you said, and we speaking on what I heard you say. And I don't know, they not believing it though. They're not buying it. I don't know if he's capping though, man. You know what I mean? Like from what I know about Joe, I don't know him to be a capper. You know what I'm saying? I don't know him like on a personal level, but I have heard multiple stories from reliable sources about things that he's done as far as coming to people's aid and doing real things for people. I can't say that, but about this specific topic, I have no knowledge on. Steven Rivera, Waterbury CT in the building. Shout out to the Dirty Water, man. 90s vs. 2000 type of vibe said, matter of fact, ask Lil C's. Raheem Perez, yeah, it makes sense now. I think about it. They had a common opposition. Tupac, nah, Joe not capping. But Tupac wasn't Fat Joe's opposition though, because like we was just saying, Fat Joe been speaking about the fact that he sent the kite to his Puerto Rican homies who were locked up with Pac to hold him down. So due to that fact, I wouldn't think that him and Pac was at odds at all. You know what I mean? Like they had to have some type of relationship for him to do that. And Pac never dissed Fat Joe at all. You know what I'm saying? Raheem Perez, $1 billion question. Who got the material? That is a good question. Somebody got it. It's somewhere. Where? I don't know. Somebody has it though. Convertible Breeze said, tell him play something. Test 11177 said, nowadays you can't control getting music unless you personally own the masters. Is he gonna be? If I'm making a song, I'm definitely keeping a copy of the song. I mean, that's like a tricky thing though, right? Because my Tales from the Hood album that I recorded in the D Block studio, I never got the official master copy of it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the songs I never had in my possession. They were left in the D Block studio, and I was never able to get them. So, I mean, I could see him not having the songs himself. It's not like shot out or far fetched for him not to have the joints. So, I mean, but I don't know anything about that situation again, but I could believe it. Tess said, I'm not leaving the studio without my songs. 90s versus 2000s type of vibe said, surprised the leak wasn't on DJ Clue. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, the fact that nobody has ever heard any of these songs is like kind of like head scratching, no rainbow. You know what I mean? We basically have to just take Fat Joe's word for this. But somebody within the chat did say something interesting, which was ask, who did they say ask? They said ask, matter of fact, I'm not even sure who they said ask. They said ask the hitman or ask somebody, which would make sense. But then again, Panda Chop said that Stevie J, who was one of the hitmen, said he has no idea what he's talking about, so I don't know. The real M14 said, I hope one day you get them songs back. Would love to hear that joint you had with Chingy, my G.O. Chingy, that's my guy too. Shout out to Chingy, man. He just dropped the album, Chinglish. Shout out to my Dirty. Yeah, he said ask Lil C's, matter of fact. Yeah, I mean, he definitely need to. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the way he was talking about it had me, like, pretty interested in hearing this. Because 8 or 9 songs were Big and Fat Joe. And Fat Joe at that time, yeah, I want to hear that. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely need to hear that. We probably will never hear it, but I wouldn't mind hearing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Biggie has no more material left as far as new songs, so why not release that for his fans? You know what I'm saying? Steven Rivera said Hood Stripes should have been an album, classic bars. Definitely a dope and classic mixtape. Panda Chop News said Joe said he spoke with Tupac from prison and Pac told him he ain't got no issues with Joe. Joe sent the kite to my homie Charlie Rock LD to hold Pac down. That's a fact. I definitely heard that, and I heard Charlie Rock, R.I.P., he spoke on that as well. R.I.P. Charlie Rock LD. I definitely heard him speak about that. That's a fact. That's why I was explaining to one of the other homies in the chat, like, if I didn't have no issues with Joe, so I wouldn't see that happening as far as like Pac being in opposition to Joe. Like he had no smoke with Joe. Joey Crack and Frank White. Paris said Biggie has material that Busta Rhymes owns. I mean, maybe he may have big material. But as of right now, the only material that Biggie that the fans have heard was what was released under the Bad Boy imprint. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's only what the two albums that were dropped when he was alive, the Biggie's greatest hits, and whatever else they put out post his death. So if someone's holding some unreleased Biggie tracks, the world need to hear that. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie to you. The world needs to hear that. The fans want to hear that. We probably will never hear this Fat Joe and Biggie album though. Whether it's 5 songs, 3 songs, 8 songs, 9 songs, however many songs there is, I don't think we're gonna end up hearing it. Convertible Breeze said facts as hip hop, nobody dropping. Um, I would have 90 verse 2000 hip hop. Type of vibe said that would have been an NFT a few years ago, a few years back. Pardon me. Yeah. All right. So look. Also, this is what Fat Joe spoke about as far as Drake, right? And firstly, let me before I even address it, he was joking when he spoke about this, right? So he said that he's jealous of Drake because Drake got some type of Playboy deal, right? Then he said that he was jealous of him because, now this was kind of crazy to me too, because I really didn't know the logistics behind this and exactly how it happened, because I was kind of dumbfounded by the fact that Drake was in possession of this ring anyway, but one of Tupac's rings, a crown ring that he had, went up for sale at an auction, and it sold for $1 million a couple of days ago, right? Now, it was sold to an anonymous bidder for $1 million cash, right? A day or two later, Drake posted a picture, I think on Instagram, of him with the ring on. So that caused a lot of traction online, got a lot of people talking. They like, oh, it was Drake that bought the ring. And some info came out that one of Drake's friends or associates or one of his rich buddies purchased the ring and gave it to him. So Fat Joe, come on, you got people buying $1 million rings for him, you know what I'm saying? You got people buying jets for him because it was rumored that somebody bought the plane that Drake has for him and gave it to him. And he said that, people are buying Drake all type of things and he wish he had friends like that. I think we all wish we had friends like that. You know what I mean? It's crazy to have somebody buy you $1 million, artifact. I say artifact because it's historical, because it belonged to one of the GOATs. So you got somebody buying you a ring that belongs to one of the GOATs of hip hop. You got somebody buying you a plane. You know what I'm saying? You got all this stuff. It's crazy, man. Drake is in a great position and he has a lot of dope friends. So that's basically what Fat Joe was saying. He was saying he's jealous, but he was saying it in a joking way though. You know what I'm saying? Panda Chop News said, Joe said he already wrote that, excuse me. B&B Michael said Lil C's. Yeah, ask Lil C's. Panda Chop News said in January of 2022, Little C's was on All the Dialogue, and he said he never heard of Big doing any songs with Joe. And C's was with Big every day, pretty much. That's crazy. I didn't see that, or I never heard that. C's definitely would know though. If C's said that, I don't know. That puts a question mark on everything that was said. I don't know, man. I don't know. So unless C's is withholding information, or somebody's not being completely honest about something, I don't know which one it is, but it's crazy. So Convertible Breeze says, son is Jewish. Come on, son. I mean, hey, man. The man got $1 billion friends that's gifting him all type of stuff. I'm just saying, we all could use those type of friends. You know what I'm saying? For real, man. Um, 10 Godfrey says, should the ring be in a museum? Was Drake wearing Pac's ring with his painted nails? Nah, I don't think his nails was painted when he was wearing the ring. He had just regular nails on, but he definitely posted a picture with the ring on though. I was like super surprised. I'm like, Drake got this ring? First of all, if somebody purchased that ring, I would think if they was in possession of the ring, they would keep it and hold it somewhere, you know what I mean, and put it on display somewhere in their crib as like a real live artifact. But somebody purchased that and gifted it to Drake. That's crazy. The real M14 said Joe might be capping. Man. Thank God again. Joe most likely exaggerating, maybe a track or two, but doubting out my belief C's in this situation. I mean, of course, if C's said what Panda Chop News said that he said, C's would probably be the one that you would probably want to believe, you know, in a situation like that. Not saying anything about Joe, but like Panda stated, like C's was with Big all the time. So if he didn't know something that Big did, that would be kind of surprising. You know what I mean? 90s versus 2000 type of vibe said Drake is the most accepted pop star in hip hop. I don't know, but we're gonna have another conversation about Drake in another video, so stay tuned. Panda Chop News says Seed even went as far as saying he doesn't believe it exists. Yo, Panda Chop, and where did this interview drop at, or who did he did this? Excuse me, who did he do this interview with? Where you got this information from? Just so I could go back and check it out if possible, because I want to see this myself too. Because if C's were saying these type of things, it kind of like, I'm not gonna say it debunks or discredits Joe's statement, but it definitely puts a question mark on it. So what I see a lot of people in the chat saying is maybe they had a couple of tracks, but not a whole album. And according to Panda Chop, throughout the years, he said that Joe has been kind of like, you know, changing the number of the amount of tracks that they had. He said first he said he had like 2 or 3, and another year he said they had 4 or 5, and so on and so forth. And this year, obviously, like I said, he said that they had 8 or 9, and this was from like an interview with Cap Capone like 4 or 5 days ago. It dropped, so you can look it up on YouTube yourself. So the amount of tracks that they actually did, no one knows, because no one heard them. And I'm still kind of stunned that C's never heard these tracks, because that's someone that I would have really thought would have heard them. That would be like a super reliable source. You know what I'm saying? Fat Joe and Biggie album, no. That would have been something to hear, something to listen to, man. In the 90s, if that would have dropped. Even an EP. Panda Chop said it's on Art of Dialogue. Okay, I gotta check that out. Art of Dialogue definitely be having some fire interviews, so I definitely gotta look for that. Tim Garvey said, I think we have heard all Biggie's verses in existence. I think so too. Maybe it may be like a couple other verses that we may have never heard that he did before he got on, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. But as far as like on a professional level, I think you may be right. And this is just me giving my opinion. I could be totally wrong. But I think if people actually were in possession of unreleased Biggie songs, they would have attempted to find a way to release them. You know what I'm saying? Even though I mean that's with Puffy's clearance. You know what I mean? Because you're not releasing nothing without Puff say so when it comes to Big. But um, Puff would have wanted in on that, and he would have wanted to release anything unreleased by Big. So I don't know. Pun talked about chopping it up with Biggie. If there was an album, if there was album talk, I would be inclined to think that would have been the album not with Joe. See, Joe, what he also spoke about on this same interview was how he and Biggie met, right? He said him and Biggie met at the Lyricist Lounge, which was a place that artists used to go to battle and all that in New York, right? He said that upon him going to the Lyricist Lounge, he went there with his vinyl to Flojo. That's his first time meeting Biggie. And he said Biggie was battling a couple dudes. He was with Puff. He said he was passing out his vinyl. Said they met or whatever the case being. He said he bumped into Big sometime after that. And he wasn't sure how Biggie would react to him because he said he kind of thought that Biggie might have changed up due to his increase in status. But he said due to his, he was surprised that Biggie actually called him over to where he was, and he remembered him and said that he was listening to Fat Joe's album, right? So he said they developed a relationship after that. So I don't know, man. Timeless Soul said, Shaq said in Drink Champs, he got Biggie verse in the vault, but he will never release him. I could believe that. Zeke on the beat said, if you're part of the song, you're in control of the song. Not necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily. Like, it depends. Like, if you're not the only artist on the song, you're not in total control of it. Because if you're featured on a track with another artist that's signed to another label, that label is more than likely, I'm not going to say responsible, but they have rights to the verse of their artist, so you would need them for clearance. St. Godfrey said Joe was clearly around. He on stage in footage with Nas and Biggie performing together. Yeah, him being around shouldn't be questioned because Fat Joe been around forever. You feel me? Like, I'm talking about for a long time. So that's not even in question. He's been around for generations. Jeffrey Woodland. What's good, my G? Ten Godfrey, if you're not independent, you're not necessarily in control. Is that correct? For the most part. Definitely for the most part, because when you are signed to, especially a major label, that's that machine, and everything belongs to them. Sometimes they withhold music. Sometimes they prevent artists from even recording new music, releasing music, so on and so forth. But like you said, if you're totally independent, you're in total control of everything, and you are you get the last say so on everything. You can release music whenever you want to release it. You know what I mean, etc., etc. But the thing with being independent is you obviously have to put in way more work. The leg work of being independent versus being on a label is like apples and oranges. 90s versus 2000 type of vibe said Joe could have recorded with Big before he blew, just like a song with Big and MOP. Yeah, he could have recorded them. A lot of people are saying that they don't necessarily think he's capping about recording a song or two with Biggie. I think the thing is they questioning a whole album. with Biggie. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he said. He said he did a whole album with him. Zeke on the beat said the producer and artists are in control. Forget everybody else. I mean, that's what we would think. But when you're signed to an actual corporation or a record company, that's when everything else comes into play because you're in the contractual agreement with that entity. Panda Chop News said, well, Joe did say that Biggie wanted him to sign to Bad Boy. Yeah, he also stated that too. He said Puff wanted to sign him. And he said the label that he ended up signing with, he think offered him the contract that he got offered because they heard that he was doing songs with Biggie. You know what I'm saying? So he said that's why he got as much as he got. And he said when he took the contract that he was offered to Puff to see if Puff would match it or give him something big, he said Puff told him that he's not giving him that. He said, yo, Puff said, yo, I'm not giving you that, Playboy, so you might as well take that. So he said that's when he signed with whoever he signed with. Pantop News said he did have a relationship with Biggie, but that doesn't guarantee the songs exist. It opens the door for possibility. They work together, but it doesn't guarantee they did. Right. I agree with you there. Well, my thing is, I mean, you know, why I wouldn't get like what would be the reason to cap about that? Like what would he be like receiving from mentioning that if it wasn't truthful? I mean, because at no point, especially at this point in his career, I don't think he needs the clout or he needs the props or anything like that. So I think that's the more puzzling thing that we got to think about. What will he get for lying? Ken Garvey said if he did record the songs, then I think that's the proof that the label was in control, not the artist, or else Joe will put it out considering he has maintained a positive relationship with Puff. Yeah, I think if the songs do exist, Puff is definitely in control of them. So if they're not coming out, if they're never going to see the light of day, it's definitely because of Puff. You feel me? And again, if they exist, Puff heard them. And Puff is the reason that they're being held up. So I don't think it's like it's rocket science if that's the case. You know what I mean? Zeke on the beat said Biggie wanted to sign Cameron, but he did Dipset. Yeah, I heard that too. But Mace was responsible for getting Cam signed to Un Rivera. You know, after Mace got in position with Bad Boy, he opened the door for Cam. Joey Crack. An album with Biggie. He got everybody talking, man. A Joey Crack and Big album during the 90s, man. That would have been something special. Chen Garvey said Hood, a reason could be he knows nobody can fact check him and Puff not going to out him. So he gets clicks on his interviews. Respect to Joe, no shade. I mean, that's a legit reason because he is in media right now, and you know he does have a podcast, or he's doing podcasting, and everything is about clicks and traction and getting views and everything like that. But I don't know, man. I don't think he needs it. So again, I don't think that's a big enough reason for him to do that because he knows that saying something like that is outlandish. You know what I mean? Like that. That's not like saying like, yo, man, I just copped the $10 million chain. Like, yeah, it'd be like, okay, cool. But saying you got a whole album with Biggie though, you know people are going to try their best to try to fact check that. They're going to do some homework on it. They're going to ask around. They're going to call people. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, man. I just don't see why he would do that. So it has to be some type of truth to what he's saying. Even if it's not the amount, like I said, even if it's not the amount of songs that he claimed that they have, which he said it was 8 or 9 in a recent interview. You know, I think a few songs probably do exist. Merle, big labels been in control of rap music since Sugar Hill Gang. That's a fact. Morris Rowland said Joey likes to clout by name dropping certain figures in the game like Suge Knight and Biggie. Steve Rivera said Biggie would outshine Fat Joe. I mean, Biggie would have outshined a lot of people. So I can see that, but let's keep it a bean though. Fat Joe was in his bag back then, so it would have been dope to hit. You know what I mean? It would have been fire for sure. Convertible bridge, do still do it, son. Facts. That's a super fact. I mean, it's been going on since the beginning of the industry, man. Like people, major labels been in control of artists. It's so much stuff that goes on behind the scenes that the average fan has no knowledge of. Man, it's crazy. A lot of fans won't even believe it if they were told what would be going on behind the scenes. So, Tangafi said it's a reason for other platforms to get him on too, not just something for him to talk about on his channel. It's only outlandish if you feel people can challenge that. Still, no challenge from Puff. No, I mean Puff didn't even co-sign it. That's why he spoke on his live on Instagram yesterday about that because somebody brought up that Puff didn't co-sign what he said. And that's what led him to speaking about him not being a capper and how nobody could ever say that, Fat Joe was a capper. And he started bringing up all of the things that he's done and his credibility and stuff like that. Zeke on the Beat said Jay-Z was so big he didn't need a label. I mean, he had to take the independent route and start his own thing because no labels were trying to sign him, according to him. You know what I mean? He said no labels were willing to give him a shot. All the labels were closing the doors on him and weren't trying to sign him, so they had to invest their own money into themselves. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's what it takes. You got to believe in yourself. Morris Rowland said, if it was true, this wouldn't be the first time we're hearing it. Now that he's into podcasting, it's definitely for views and likes. Well, I think like 4 years ago, he spoke on it briefly on another platform, right? But I don't think it got the traction that it's getting now. So he re-spoke on this same topic on Cap Capone like 4 to 5 days ago. So it's a more recent interview. It's on YouTube right now. So after you guys, after I get off of this live here, you can go check it out if you want to, just so you could hear the whole interview in its entirety. You know what I'm saying? Again, though, let's just say it's true. For the people who are just chiming in and who are just entering the chat, do you think that would have been fire? A Fat Joe and Biggie album or a Fat Joe and Biggie EP, whichever one it would have been, do you think it would have been fire? Chen Garvey said if Puff didn't deny it, then that leads validity to the statement. Could be Puff and Joe have an agreement. It's also a way to keep Big's name out there. How does the saying go about letting the lie live? Yeah, indeed. It's absolutely true. But the way that Joe reacted to whoever it was that alluded to the fact that he was capping, he seemed pretty sincere about defending his statement, right? He was like, listen, man, like people like Busta Rhymes, he was like something like this would come out and then a person like Busta Rhymes would come out and tell you how I saved him from 1,000 fights. A person like, who else he named, man? He named a bunch of different rappers, but he was like, these people would come out and say this and that. Somebody else would come out and tell you how Fat Joe saved him from this and that, da-da-da. You know what I mean? Basically to back up his claim of not being a capper. So, you know. Call me Mr. Boombastic said, on some homage to Fat Cat, yeah, it would have been dope. Yeah, I think it would have been something to hear, man. You know what I mean? Hey, it's 2023, but I would want to hear it now. You feel me? Back then, it definitely would have been a dope project to hear. But it's unfortunate that we never got to hear it because, I said that he said earlier, he was like that it was disrespectful. That's what really makes me want to hear it, though. I'm not going to lie. The fact that he said it was disrespectful and it might have been viewed as distasteful because Pac had died. I want to hear it now because what was so disrespectful about it? That means that Biggie must have been dissing Pac on that album. So if Biggie was dissing Pac on that album, and no one's really ever heard Biggie like straight up diss Pac, you know what I mean? Like we all came to our own conclusions and have always thought that certain songs were directed to Pac from Big, you know what I mean? And like subliminal verses or, indirects and all that. But as far as like Biggie straight up dissing Pac, we never heard that. So if he was saying those songs were disrespectful, to me, how I'm taking that is Biggie must have been saying something directly to Pac. So I want to hear it. Not gonna hold you. Zeke on the beat said, I want to hear it. Me too. I'm with you. But if that is the case, though, it's never going to come out though because that would stir up a whole bunch of old stuff that been swept under the rug, and that will open up a whole can of worms. You know what I'm saying? So that's never coming up. On a scale from 1 to 10, Biggie and Fat Joe album probably would have been a 6.5 to a 7 on the scale. Okay, that's a very interesting take. I haven't seen anyone, do the 1 to 10 scale on that yet, but okay, 6.5 to 7. I can see that. Everyone's trying to stir up the content pot. Have you heard Have you heard on Nas' new album he stated that he put Pac on Hennessy? I seen something like that, right? I seen something like that, man. And I kind of I chuckled at that. And I heard somebody else bring that up too. They're like, yo, Nas said he put Pac on the Hennessy. Somebody made a meme about it, and they was questioning the validity of it, right? And I don't know, man. Maybe he did. I can't call it. A lot of people are saying a lot of things nowadays, but I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a crazy accusation, though. He said he put Pac on to Hennessy. Zeke on the beat said, "Who shot you wasn't to diss Tupac." Nah, I'm not. I personally never said that. But of course, you got people that would say the opposite. Chen Garvey said that adds to the folklore, folktale too, right? More clicks and Puff Cool. That causes reflects toughness on Big part. Zeke on the beat said, "Big respect Pac before and after Pac died." Yeah, I mean, yeah, that sounds cool and all that, but you have to understand, Pac said he hit that man's wife. You know what I'm saying? Like any human being, regardless of who thinks, any human being is going to want to say something, whether it's indirect or subliminal to a person who's making those type of accusations. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of people think that a lot of what he was saying on Long Kiss Goodnight was directed to Pac. And I could believe that. Not saying that it's a fact, but I could believe that. Chen Garvey said, "Big album alone won't let it be less than a 7. Also, Joe has always made quality music and can make hits. Album would have been an 8 to 10 in my opinion." Okay, that's another interesting take. So one person said that the album would have been a 6.5 to a 7. And we got another person that said it would have been at least an 8 to a 10. Steven Rivera said Pac was mostly dissing Mobb Deep. Nah, man. Nah. Pac was dissing Biggie, Mobb Deep. He dissed the Fugees. He dissed Chino XL. That man dissed all types of people, man. Facts. The Blaze podcast said it seems like for clout nowadays, all you have to do is mention Pac or Jay-Z name. Now that's a super fact. Like I said that too, I think a couple of days ago, man. Like people figured that out. Anytime you want to go viral, just say something ridiculously disrespectful about Pac or Jay-Z, and you're gonna automatically be in the algorithm and go, you know what I mean? And you're gonna go crazy. Those two names are either LeBron James. Say something about one of those three people. You guaranteed to go viral, man. Especially if it's disrespectful and you know what I mean, like some stuff that nobody ever heard about it, man. It seems to be something outrageous. Again, though, it's just this whole topic is interesting to me, mainly due to the fact that Fat Joe said that this album was disrespectful. I'm still stuck at that. Say what you want, but that kind of like attracts me. It makes me curious. The disrespect got me curious, man. What was so disrespectful about it? What did Biggie say that was disrespectful? And then it's produced by the Hitman. The Hitman was on fire back then. Where's this album at, man? I think we got a better chance of finding Waldo than finding where this album is at. You know what I'm saying? Zeke on the beat said, my favorite rapper, A to Z out now. Listen, man, click the link in the bio, not even in the bio, click the link in the description box in this video right now. Well, you ain't got to do it now, but after I cut this live off, click the link and go check out my new mixtape. Remember the name 2, man. Click the link, run me up. Remember the name 2 out right now. Remember the name 2 is out right now. After you finish that mixtape, check out part 1. Remember the name part 1. You know what I'm saying? Then go check out the 1 through 4 Pesci series, 4 albums straight. Fire. You feel me? Because I seen somebody else yesterday that said, yo, Hood ain't got no albums. Yo, bro, I have albums, bro. I have multiple albums. They've just been released independently. People be asking, where can I get your music at? Bro, the same place you can get everybody else's music at. You just obviously haven't been looking. Every streaming platform has my music. Whether it be Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, you know what I mean? Like, any platform you name has my albums. And these are not mixtapes. These are albums released under my imprint, ODG Entertainment, LLC. Frog Midas, salute, my G. Merle Lee says, Stevie J says he doesn't recall anything Joe's talking about. Yo, that's what Panda Chop News said. He said that Stevie J said he ain't know what Joe was talking about. I have to go back and check that footage out that Panda Chop was saying that he said that on, because that's crazy. I also got to go check out the footage that he was saying that the Little C said he didn't recall that either. Tim Godfrey said, my issue about that part is that it can reopen wounds, but that's part of the clickbait, which Puff not challenging because it shows big in a certain light. We need to dead that energy. Now, I totally agree with you on that, but it's just, you know, come on, keep it a buck. A certain part within you, within yourself, and within us as human beings, just you want to hear it though. You know, you wouldn't mind hearing it for the sake of hearing it though. You know what I mean? Like, you got to keep it a bean. We all know what that would cause. And due to that, we know it will never come out. But that's still not going to stop that part within you from wanting to hear it though. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with the wanting part. Just because you want to hear it don't mean you're going to hear it. That's why we're never going to hear it. But by him stirring the pot and mentioning this though, that's what It's rising the intrigue of people. You know what I mean? Like now people are intrigued and they're interested in this because of the fashion that he described this album. You know what I'm saying? Is he gonna be? Remember the name Fire. Appreciate it, my G. Definitely appreciate you, man. Thank God for respect that, Hood. No doubt. No doubt. So Fat Joe, we can all agree that Fat Joe is stirring the pot with this accusation, though. Joe Crack the Don is stirring the pot. The biggest. You stirring the, yo, Joe, you stirring the pot right now. You got everybody on edge. You got everybody wanting to hear this album that you're talking about, big homie. You know what I mean? Merle, speaking of disrespectful material, do you still think Angie Martinez has the unreleased Pac interview that she says that she's had on Padlock for over 30 years? Bro, I'm not going to hold you up, man. I, for one, have been speaking about that interview for the longest. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's in possession of a Pac interview that has never came out, allegedly due to Puff putting a stop to her releasing it. You know what I'm saying? Because she was employed by Hot 97 at the time. So in all honesty, that interview belongs to that radio station. And Puff played a significant role in New York music during that time. So, you know, he had a lot of power and he told them not to put it out. So, it was never put out. But I've heard that interview is classic and I heard it is real informative. So that's another one of those things that I want to hear that we will probably never hear, but I still want to hear it though. Anything that involves Pac, I didn't heard it and I didn't seen it. So the fact that we all know that it's a Pac interview that exists, that never has been seen or never heard is crazy to me. You know what I mean? But like if it will open up a can of worms and be bad for hip hop and the culture, I understand. Call me Mr. Boombox, who said Fat Joe gonna bust the AI Biggie. Nah, he ain't gonna do that. Zeke on the beat said, if the song's really thrown away, shame on Fat Joe. I don't think the song's thrown away. I think Joe might still even have them songs, to be honest with you. I just think he's not at liberty to release them. You feel me? That's what I think it is. I'm not gonna hold you up. Because like we were saying a little earlier, Puff has the real last say-so on anything that gets released as far as Biggie. And if these songs are indeed as disrespectful as he claimed they are, Puff's not letting them go. And I can see that being the reason why Puff isn't going to release the songs. You know what I'm saying? Because as someone said earlier, they don't want to show Biggie in that light. You feel me? Jeffrey Willen said Biggie and Meth, the What song was fire. And Biggie and Jay-Z Brooklyn Finest was fire. Would have been very intriguing to hear Biggie and Fat Joe's song. That's a fact. That's a super fact. Blaze Podcast said, Angie said Pac was on that interview talking crazy and she didn't want to open up old wounds. Nah, that's what I heard too. That's exactly what I heard. But, I mean, picture that though. Picture holding an interview for 30 years. Having an exclusive interview from someone that's considered the GOAT, or at least one of the GOATs to the majority of the world. You have an interview from him in his stash. That's crazy. I could almost assure you that she's then watched that interview hundreds of times, if not thousands of times. You know what I'm saying? Because she knows she's the only one in possession of that. Her and the company that she was employed by. She has a piece of hip hop. I mean, she has a piece of history of hip hop. They listen to all unreleased music in the studio, probably. Uh, Still a disservice to hip hop. Yeah, it definitely is. But sometimes it's for the better, though. I can understand that. You have to look at things from all angles and all perspectives. You know what I'm saying? Like, if a Biggie album full of diss records was to come out right now, honestly, it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good for hip hop. You know what I mean? They're trying to maintain a certain image for them, and you know what I mean. So I understand that. Connect TV, Bernstein, one of the best, fam, from NC. Appreciate you, man. All love, man. Shout out to my NC people. North Cac in the building. For sure. Yes, I understand it. But like I said, yo, Fat Joe, you definitely stirring the pot. You know what you're doing right now, big homie. You got me talking. You got a lot of other people talking on the net. You got everybody talking. You got everybody wondering what this album sounds like. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely exercising one of the 48 laws of power, man. You're stirring up the waters to catch fish. You feel me? So for those that know, you know. You dig? But I think we all can agree to the fact that this would have been an interesting project if it does indeed exist, right? Zeke on the beat said, I got Timberland freestyle unreleased, but he mumbling. Joe Crack the Don. Somebody tried to call Joe Crack out yesterday on IG Live, man. That man said, yo, look, man, Joe ain't never been no capper, man. He never been no capper. Being a babysitter. Yeah, bro, y'all haters y'all are hilarious. Like, it be killing me that y'all don't be having nothing better to do, right? Like, the way that I usually won't even address, like, idiotic people like this, but my thing is this, because I truly be trying to understand y'all logic, right? This is how I think. First and foremost, time is extremely important, and time is something that you can never get back. So, me personally, I would never, if I dislike somebody, right? The way I view time and how precious it is, I would never waste a second of my time on a person's live or subscribing to them if I didn't like them. I wouldn't care what they doing. You would never get a second from me. So the fact that you guys be tuned in, it's beyond me. You know what I mean? It'd be crazy to me. I would never understand the mind of a hater. It would never make sense to me. Convertible breeze. You might catch me in the 4 plus 4 years before I hit the showroom floor. That's a super fact. Connect TV Burnside. If they make it a mixtape, it will be dope. Yeah, they're not going. It's never going to come out though, because they claim it's disrespectful. So obviously it was some distance towards Pac on there. You know what I mean? So it's not going to come out. Is it going to be? Do you have any unreleased with D Block that you can release? Nah, not outside of the Tales from the Hood album. That's the only unreleased material that I don't have it, but that exists. You feel me? Yes, sir. But yeah, man, what everybody else? What are you guys doing right now? Anyway, like I said, I just came back from the gym. I'm feeling pumped up. No rainbow. I'm feeling great. Chatting with you guys. You know, you've been in here for a couple of days with me. Every time I go live, y'all drop y'all opinions, and it's cool chopping it up with y'all because y'all have a lot of interesting opinions and perspectives. So I rock with y'all heavy. Connect TV Burnside. Haters need motivation. Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I definitely understand that. But the thing is, me, I don't even understand the concept of hating. I just never been a hater, so I will never understand that. You know what I mean? I never hated on nobody, and I never will. Like people, what the next man is doing is not that important to me. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. That probably sounds like kind of cliche because I do a vlog series reporting on current hip hop and all that, but that's just for that. But aside from that, I don't be caring what nobody else is doing if it doesn't concern me or if it's not bringing me any type of income. You know what I mean? So when people be hating, I don't be understanding that. And another thing with haters, they want you. It's another thing that I would never understand either, right? Some of these haters, they want you to be a certain way, and when you're not the way that they think you are, that burns them even more. Like they want you to be broke. Yo, you broke, or you ain't doing this, or you ain't doing that. Like, yo, bro, that's not even the case. That's far from the case. And when they find out that you're not suffering the way that they thought you was or they think you should be, it kills them, man. You feel me? Like it's a given. Like I'm not rich, but listen, I have two businesses of my own, two established businesses. I have a condo. I have an apartment up top. You know, I'm alright. I'm straight, man. Got an independent company. I put out music independently. I'm my own boss. So whether you like it or not, I'm good. You feel me? Touch from the Hood would have went platinum. I think it would have at least went gold at the very least. You know what I'm saying? Like platinum, if it would have had the right marketing and the right amount of marketing dollars behind it, it probably would have had potential to reach there. But I would say it would have went gold at the very, very least. You know what I'm saying? And that's me being realistic. Kenny Max said he's listening to Nas the Pirate. Connect TV said working, driving across the U.S. No doubt, get that money. Jeffrey Willen said ignorance is ugly and it's a disease. In fact, that's a fact. I agree with you there. Kenny Max said haters need hugs. They need hugs and they need to find something constructive to do with their time, man. You know what I mean? Because realistically speaking, a lot of people just suffer from untreated mental illnesses. And it's more common than we think in our culture. You know what I mean? A lot of people are just running around mentally challenged. That's really what it is, you know? And I don't want to touch too much on that because it's going to sound like I'm trying to clown people and I'm really not, but that's really what it is for real. Steven Rivera said J Hud and Banks collab album would have been crazy. Yeah, listen, I'm not going to front. I always dug Banks. Even if not an album, a collab period would have been crazy, especially during that time or a little after. I don't know how to pronounce your name, my G, but Nahemius Rodriguez said that's a humble response, Hood. For sure. Definitely. Peace. Connect TV Burnside. My God called me Sting, flipped it on purpose. My Brooklyn family gave me that name. For all of y'all that's just pulling up, nah, man, these these comments are just coming in so fast. No rainbow, because that sounded funny. So super duper pause. Zeke on the beat said, "Shock the world. Record new songs and drop Tales from the Hood with your regular." You know, a lot of people have told me that throughout the years, but the thing is, you can never recreate that same energy that was created during that time when the original Tales from the Hood was made. You know what I'm saying? So for me to do that would be doing hip hop a disservice, and I wouldn't want to do that. You know what I mean? That's why I try to figure out another way to implement or to use the Tales from the Hood name in something. That's why I started the Tales from the Hood series. You feel what I'm saying? Because you guys were familiar with that title for me shouting out the Tales from the Hood for so damn long. You know what I'm saying? And I also have an autobiography called Tales from the Hood where I'm basically telling the stories of everything I've been through throughout my time in the industry and my time running with the Lock. So that's been done for like 4 years already. So I'm just basically adding new stuff into it as time goes along. So you can look out for that. The Blaze Podcast, thoughts on the fan throwing a drink at Cardi B and Cardi hitting them with the mic. I never understand why fans go to these concerts just to throw drinks at people y'all paid to go see. That's lame. Yeah, I never understood that either, man. People are pretty weird, yo. She did what she was supposed to do. You throw a drink at me, I'm doing the same thing. I might just jump off stage too. We've had experiences like that. I could recall multiple incidents where we was on stage performing, and you know, people. I don't know. I can't really speak on women, but a lot of guys, especially with the type of music that we do, dudes be thinking they tough in the crowd. They want to show how hard they are, no rainbow and all that. So they throw stuff on the crowd. I mean, throw stuff from the crowd on stage, and you know, stuff like that. And we didn't had to jump off stage a few times. You feel me? So I don't think Cardi's wrong at all for throwing that mic. But like you said, though, it's crazy that people spend their money to go see people and do stuff like that. It makes absolutely no sense at all. He was on fire. He had Kitchen going crazy. Never seen him act like that. Never again with an artist. Man, it was a magical time. Our chemistry was unmatched. We complimented one another, and it was phenomenal. That's why that energy could never be recreated as well. You know what I'm saying? Not to regurgitate the same information that I've been saying, but again, I'm the only one that ever got and this is me humbly speaking. I'm the only one that ever got the cosign by all three of them. You know what I'm saying? There's been other people that got a cosign by them individually, obviously, but from all three of them and got the push from them, and never been another person like that. So I always like hold that, close to my heart. You feel what I'm saying? And despite what a lot of people may think, because a lot of fans are funny, man. They try to like pin us against each other all the time. It's like if you're a Locks fan, you can't like Hood, or if you like Hood, you can't be a Locks fan. Like, yo, bro, it's not that serious, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really not. First and foremost, like our differences was about business. It has nothing to do. It's not on a personal level. It's strictly business. You can like whoever you like, and it doesn't have to be divided. I don't hate them. In real time, in real life, they don't hate me. You know what I mean? It's like, it ain't like that, man. With fans, they're so emotionally attached to certain artists that they're incapable of seeing past certain things, and they only want to view things the way they want to view it. You know what I mean? Merle Lee said Cardi B putting a new spin on mic dropping. Facts. That's a fact. Super fact. Her aim was crazy though. She could be a picture. You know what I mean? Not gonna lie. The Yankees might need to holler at her, man. The Dodgers, the Yankees, the Mets, somebody, man. Connect TV Burnside, keep doing what you do, fam. Music has been fire. Appreciate you, man. Definitely appreciate the love. Naheem Miss Rodriguez, she hit the wrong person. Cardi got her arm though. I thought she hit the person that threw it. She definitely got her arm. She looked like Nolan Ryan out there, man. Straight up. Not gonna hold you. Was crazy. I just hope whoever that she hit, don't do the sucker shit and try to sue her. You know what I mean? Like, don't throw something at an artist or try to provoke an artist to hit you and then try to sue. I ain't with that either though. You know what I mean? So as long as she let it rock, it's all good. Cause whoever threw that drink deserved that. Connect TV, Bernstein. Oh yeah, my fault, my G. I called you Bernstein. I don't. my bad, my G. I meant Bernstein. That's my fault. Now it makes sense why you said that. My bad, B. Do you sell your artwork? Yeah, that's another thing I do on the side too. I sell my pieces. No Rambo. I sell artwork. Have you ever met Mobb Deep? Yeah, definitely. I work with him. I did songs with him. I got pictures with him. I grew up off the mob, so that's something that I hold dear to me as well. You know what I mean? Dave, Fat Joe must mean AI songs, because ain't no way Diddy sitting on any big verses. That's why it's unbelievable to me too. You know what I mean? But like we were saying earlier, I think you just popped up in the chat. Fat Joe said that these songs were disrespectful. You feel me? And they would be viewed as distasteful nowadays because Pac died and Big died. So we're gonna assume by him using those words that Big was talking about Pac. So that would be a reason that Puff wouldn't want to release the songs, though. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know he don't want to open up no can of worms like that. Jeffrey Williams said, kind of broke my heart when things didn't work out between you and Elijah. Put some fire out. Y'all was rocking together. Absolutely, man. But everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? What we had was amazing. We changed the landscape of mixtapes with what we did. I learned a lot from them. We sharpened each other's skills, and I took what I learned from them and incorporated it into my style, and that's why I am who I am and the way I am today. You know what I mean? So even though it didn't work out, it's all love. It's all good, man. I still rock with them, still respect them, and it's cool. It's all good. Steven Rivera said, I remember Tory Lanez copy Hood freestyle line. That's a fact, man. And when he did that, everybody tried to sweep it under the rug. You know what I mean? Like, people ain't want to speak about that because it ain't the cool thing to do nowadays to speak on Hood or to give Hood his props. It's not. It's not the wavy thing to do because I'm not the most popping or the most popular artist and all that. Don't give Hood no light. That's like the underlying. It's like the secret thing in the industry. Don't give Hood no light. Tory definitely bit my line from a classic freestyle. The only thing he did was try to flip it a little bit. I called him out on that as well. But around the same time that he took a couple of lines from Cass and took some lines from what's the homie that be with A Boogie? I forget his name. Well, I can't remember his name right now. Y'all know who I'm talking about though. It was around that same time. Yeah, Don Q. There you go. Appreciate that. That's a fact. Kenny Mac, J Hood, and Flea Lord will be crazy. Yeah, that'd be dope. Shout out to Flea Lord. Like I was saying to you guys too earlier, me and Ito got a dope track on Pesci 2, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Pesci 2. Me and Ito got something dope. Go check that out if you haven't heard that. I'm also on Ito's last mixtape that he put out with Doo-Wop. Me, Ito, and RJ Payne got something on this last project. What's your favorite memory with DMX if you have one? Man, I spoke on this. I'm pretty sure whoever heard this story is probably tired of me speaking about it, but aside from being at video shoots where X was at and, seeing him a few times in the studio, my most memorable time seeing X was in Mount Vernon. um, on Third Ave, Third and Third. He hopped out. This is when he had a Burgundy Explorer. He actually flipped this Explorer, and it like made the news. But he pulled up in the Burgundy Explorer in Mount Vernon, New York, Third and Third, hopped out dolo. This was like the height of his career when he was like super duper popping. He had just dropped his Dark and Hell is Hot. Third and Third, for you guys that don't know about Mount Vernon, at this time, first of all, it's the hottest block in the Ville. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. Super hot. This is where all the G's hung out at. You know what I mean? Like all type of gangsters, all type of thugs. DMX hopped out dolo by himself, smoking the Newport, and he was looking for I think he was looking for some bud. He out there like, yo, what's up, dog? Yo, what's good? Everybody was just in disbelief that this man just hopped out. DMX, the dog, the most on fire artist at the time, hopped out by himself. Everybody was just looking around like, yo, is this for real? And he was just so like they were just astonished at how real he was. You know what I mean? And even though I've seen him before that and I've seen him numerous times after that, I was kind of like, it was remarkable to me to see that. You know what I mean? Just to see how people viewed him. Because they couldn't believe how real and down to earth he was, because you don't see artists that big in places like that and act like that regularly. You know what I mean? So for him to do that, they was blown away by that. You know what I mean? Patrick Joint Fire, appreciate that. Connect TV, Bernstein. 90s and 2000 type of vibe. What's a J Hood dream collab? I want to collab with J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? Definitely want to collab with J. Cole. Kenny Mack, RJ Payne is the man, period. Him and Rock Marciano. Me and RJ Payne got some fire on the way. Like, it's dropping real soon, so be on the lookout for that. Rock Marciano is definitely fire. Shout out to Rock. He's an Aquarius too, so shout to my Aquarian G. Her going up this year. That's a fact. That's a fact, bro. Steven Rivera, I always wonder why you never featured in Jadakiss Kiss of Death album. You know, it's a whole nother topic. Shout out to Kiss though, you know what I mean? Shout out to the big homie. For you guys that just popped up in the chat, the topic of discussion today has been Fat Joe speaking on his alleged, we're going to say alleged because no one knows if it's true or not. We're not saying he's capping, and we're not saying he's not capping, but we're going to use the word alleged. Fat Joe speaking on his alleged album with Biggie, joint album with Biggie. And him joking around about the reasons why he's jealous of Drake. Right? I'm not gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna say I'm jealous too, but Drake got some special friends, man. The support that he got is like crazy. Somebody gave him a plane, bought him $1 million ring. Man, listen, man. Yeah, Connect TV Bernstein. Rock Marciano definitely dope. Hood and Meth will be fire. Donnie G. Facts. That's a super fact. Yeah, Dream Collab is definitely J. Cole though, you know what I'm saying? And this might sound a little funny to y'all. I don't know. Maybe not. Because y'all probably be like, yo, I don't know. I would say you and Benny or you and Conway. But I want to do a joint with Westside Guns though. I'm not going to hold you. I think me and Westside will be fire. What y'all think about that? I like Sun Energy. You know what I mean? I was definitely fortunate enough to collab with a lot of people though. Kenny Mack said, "You and Westside Gun will be fire. Let him pick the track." Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd definitely be dope. Who knows? In the future, we might can make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Stove God cooks instead of Westside Gun. Stove God is nice, but I rocks with West though. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna hold you like. Um, I think our styles will complement one another, and his choice of production is like, next to none. So it'll be fire. A crazy, beat with a crazy sample that'll wreck the underground. You feel me? But due to politics, I'm not sure if that would ever happen. But if we could make it happen, yeah, crazy. Jeffrey Woodland said he's agreeing with Donnie G, so that'll be fire. Kenny on the beat said it would be fire if I could get J Hood on one of my beats. Hit me up on Instagram on the DM, and see if we can work something out. I'm always doing like tracks with up and coming artists, up and coming producers. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to get a placement, trying to get a verse. Like hit me up, man. Let's work. As long as it makes sense, we can make it shake. I know I do this independently. This is what I do for a living. You know what I'm saying? Like the YouTube thing is just a side thing that I'm doing because I like chopping it up with you guys. Like I like bringing you guys these hip hop current events. So this is something that I do more or less for fun. You dig what I'm saying? My mom's, she was one of the top radio disc jockeys in Wilmington, North Carolina when I was a child and all that. So I think, that kind of like inspired me to do stuff like this before it was even a thing. So when the whole vlogging and podcasting became popular, I was like, you know what, let me jump into this. It may not be a bad idea. You know what I mean? Connect TV Bernstein said J. Cole, any West style is unique. What about you on Steve God Cooks? Since we're talking about Griselda, somebody else just said that too. I think that'll be fire too. That would be fire. I got a lot of stuff coming out this year though. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of stuff I can't speak on right this moment. But like, please believe me, I'm about to reposition myself, rebrand myself, and a lot of stuff is about to shake. So just rock with your boy if you're rocking with me. Get caught up on a lot of old stuff if you haven't, listened to it yet. Check out the Remember the Name Part 1. Remember the Name 2 is the latest thing that I got out right now. The link to that is in the description box of this live. The Pesci series 1 through 4. The album that I got with Yuck Mouth, Savage's album. That's fire. You know what I'm saying? Get caught up. Rodriguez, music is in your blood. That's a fact. Raheem Polias said all Griselda artists, J Hood compilations project will be a smash. Yeah, I agree with that. Anybody from that camp would be crazy. Steve Rivera, my very first song I heard from Hood was on Rough Riders Volume 3 Freestyle when I was 16 years old. I'm 38 now. Yeah, see, that's the thing too, right? Like I never was a mainstream artist, and I never was fortunate enough to have a smash single, on mainstream radio. But nonetheless, I've been fortunate enough to be in music for 20 plus years and still make a living off of it. You know what I'm saying? So that within itself is a blessing. That's why I'm never complaining about anything. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people that came out around the time that I came out that, they're working jobs right now. And ain't nothing wrong with having a job, but I'm just saying, to still be able to make a living off of this, I consider myself blessed, regardless of me not being mainstream, like other artists and all that other type of stuff. I'm still good, man, you know what I mean? I'm in a place of gratitude. Kenny Mack, Rock Marciano and Griselda birthed this new era, period. I'm not gonna disagree with that. Maybe you're right. What I also know though is a lot of these people got a lot of inspiration from us. You feel me? I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of them got a lot of inspiration from D Block. We played a large part in a lot of these people's styles. I'm not speaking about no individual artist in particular, but just period. Um, 90s versus 2000 type of vibe. So J Hood featuring West Side Gun with Steve God Cooks on the hook. Facts. That might be the recipe right there. That might be the one. You might be on to something with that. Definitely, man. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I like chopping it up with you. I got a lot of good ideas, man. So don't be surprised if I, put one of these ideas in motion. And if I do, you know I'm gonna come back and salute whoever idea I use. You know what I mean? Like, so don't be surprised. But support your boy though, you know what I mean? Like anytime you ever want to support the channel, because y'all know everything is independently done by me. A way for you to do so is in the description box. Not telling you to do so, not saying you gotta do it, but if you ever choose to, you know what I'm saying? Rock with your boy because I'm taking the time out just to, to do the little stuff. Every project. See, this is what y'all don't understand, man. Like I said to somebody else yesterday, I have 10 independent albums out right now. Like straight up. Everything is recorded by me. I do my own recording. I got my own studio. You feel what I'm saying? I do my own artwork to all my projects. So everything is like totally independent. You feel me? So all the love that you guys show me is definitely appreciated. I appreciate everything. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta lock in to the lab and all that because I got a few features I gotta knock out right now. So again, man, I appreciate you guys checking me out, chiming in, and chopping it up with me. We're gonna go live a little bit later on another topic. I hope y'all have a great day, productive rest of your afternoon, and I'll chop it up with y'all later.